back to the channel, everybody. I really hope you guys enjoyed all the drag week coverage. It wasn't as great as it could have been, but with everything else going on, it being my first time at drag week, it being such a wild experience, I just didn't get as much recorded as I would have liked. Something I'm going to change next year. I'm probably going to have 2 to 3 GoPros with me, and we'll go from there. I'm trying to get the channel back relevant again. I've had multiple people message me and tell me that it doesn't come up in the recommendations. They have to physically go and search for my videos to see them. It's kind of frustrating on my end, because when you go from a couple thousand views to a couple hundred views, it almost seems like it's not worth it to do this anymore. Oh, about a couple weeks ago, I said to myself, I'm going to be done after drag week. I'm going to get it up on the coverage, and that's it going to be for the channel. But I'm going to give it a shot. If I get through this winter and the channel doesn't grow, that's when I'll make the decision if we keep on keeping on. So please like, subscribe, and comment. I know every YouTuber says that, but it really means a lot because YouTube's algorithm sucks. So please do all that. Ring the notification bell so you get notified when I make a video. Anyway, what did I learn about the first time doing Hot Rod Drag Week? There's a lot I learned. And this video, like, I'm nowhere near being a veteran. I'm not a noob anymore. I'm now I'll call myself a rookie. I've done one. I completed one. I placed, podium finish in my first one done. Whether you call that luck or luck, doesn't matter. I was 24th or 28th out of 360 cars. I don't think that's luck, but hey, some of it, a little bit of luck. Now, there was a lot that I did learn. There was a lot I learned about this. There was a lot I learned about the car. And there was a lot I learned about just everything in general. Now, everything you see in here, I didn't use everything. There's stuff in here that was never touched the entire week of drag week. But I would rather have it here than try to find it on the side of the road in the middle of a cornfield where, you guys saw the videos, there was nothing for hours. Yeah, you'd probably run up across another drag weeker who could help you out. Yeah, but you know what? That's not something I wanted to do. I didn't want to wait for that. So there are some things that I kept in here that I didn't touch and I don't regret. Now, mind you, Sunday, day 0, I took a bunch of stuff out of here. I took 4 gallons of oil out when I realized I was going to use the 2050. Will I take 4 gallons with me next time? No. I will take enough for 1 oil change next time with me. Hopefully next year the oil's even better and I don't have any issues and I only have to change it once midweek. So I won't take 4. And it's pretty much readily available. My whole thing was there's already spent enough money on this trip that I don't have the money to go out and buy more parts if needed. So I brought with me what I thought could go wrong. So we'll go from there. All right. I haven't unloaded it. This is how you saw it. This is how it was, drag week that Friday. I shoved this in the big trailer. Sunday, when I got home Saturday, I left it. Sunday, I got home, I unpacked it. I took this stuff out, and it's just been sitting in the garage since. Now, let me talk to you about the one thing that, if you do drag week and you have a loud exhaust, is a must. This made everything so much easier in the car. And that is a Rugged Radios kit. So they have like what do you... So this is a Rugged Radios kit. This is like their NASCAR kit. It's cheap. It's like 300 something bucks. This is not wired into the car. This is the thing we got. Dave got like 3 days before the event. It was the only place I was going to get it here fast enough. Was this kit? This is the part number H80 double dash talk tie dash X2. And what it is this is for like people who go to NASCAR races and are sitting in the stands and they want to talk to each other. Oh, it's a very simple kit, and if you're not sure you're going to keep doing Drag Week, this would probably what I'd say buy. You got 2 headphones, right? You have a cord that links them together. They run on a 9-volt. If you can see the 9-volt right there. Each one has a 9-volt. And then there's another cord. This makes it key. You got an auxiliary cord here that you can plug right into your phone. So you can have music. Or you have the aux cord to plug in your radio. And these were super nice to have. I mean, like, it made it enjoyable. I mean, you're hours and hours at a downpipe out the fender. It's just, whoa. Oh, these were nice with the mic and everything. The only thing I didn't like about these was this. So the back piece is hard and it's soft on top, so it doesn't hurt your head sitting up there. The only downside is you lean your head against your seat, it pushes this thing forward, and it's like, it starts to crunch your face forward. That was the only downside I didn't like. There's a volume knob here, and there's a push to talk button right here. You hold it down, talk, let go, talk. What I'm gonna do is, since like I'm obsessed with Drag Week and all this now, I'm gonna get the step up from this, which is $500, and it's wired. There's a box you put in the car, and it will have voiceover. What the hell is it called? Voiceover, whatever. It'll mute the music when you talk. You don't have to hit the button, and you can link it to other cars. This is an absolute must. I'm telling you, it was the best thing we could have done, next to other comfort items. One thing I had a hard time with was the car was very dirty, and I couldn't, so I did bring a car care kit for me, hoping to find a do-it-yourself car wash. You know, one of the ones in the bay you pull in the power washer. You know, you do it in the bay. It's got the power washer, you pay coins or whatever. I never found one. I don't know if it was on the video, I don't remember, but Wednesday, when I got into Illinois, a Facebook friend, Adam, came down and hung out. First time I met him, you know, we're across the country. There's people you know on social media for years, and you never really meet them in person, but I got to meet Adam in person that night. And we were at a Walmart, the hotel, there was a Walmart behind the hotel, and he actually went and got me Waterless Car Wash. I know detailers are like, oh my God. But he picked these 2 things up. We used the Chemical Guys one, and it actually worked really well. The car was pretty clean. And there's a McGuire's one here as well. I didn't get to try that, but I am going to try that soon. You have a full detailing kit, drying towel, which you should have as a drying towel. You know, if it rains, you have to dry that car before you get in the lanes. One of the mornings, a lot of people didn't do that, and there was water getting dropped out on the track. Have a drying towel. It was key. Use it a couple of different times. So like I said, a whole detailing kit. You know, people go the whole week, don't clean their car. They don't care. I care. I want my stuff to look good. The guy with the red Mustang, coming to find out, would show up to the track 2 hours before it opened and detail the car for 2 hours and then go in. Well, that's a little much for me. We had this thing right here. So my floorboard temps, I don't know if you saw in the last video or the video before, I don't remember. The floorboard temps were 120 degrees. So as you can imagine, it made it kind of unbearable in the car. Dave bought this little fan at AutoZone when we stopped to get the oil, and it's got an articulating neck and everything. Now I'm going to tear my carpet out. I'm going to get the mass-backed carpet and I'm going to heat line that floor because that is just unbearable. And we crimped on some alligator terminals, and he had this on the roll cage bar blowing down at his feet. He said it made it much better. What else? What else is a must? Now the chairs. So I have my 2 chairs. Alright, and I have the tent under the jack. Now a lot of people are like, oh, you're never going to use that, you're never going to use that, you're never going to use that. Let me tell you, I didn't use the tent or the chairs on... I didn't use the tent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Never even came out of the trailer. I used the chairs Saturday, Sunday, Friday, along with the tent. But let me tell you, not only using that tent for one day was perfect, was well worth having it. It worked great. There was a father-son next to us, came and hung out in the shade. We actually strapped their tires to it. I didn't think that far through. One thing I didn't bring with me was a couple like 1-inch cheap straps, which I did bring one. Forgot it was even in the trailer until just now. It's right there. Yep, my lights still work, Milwaukee lights. So, will I bring a tent again? Absolutely. There was a very nice older couple with the Demon. If anybody watched any of the drag week coverage, you saw a black stick shift Demon. Really nice older couple. She gave us a bag of M&Ms that she made. I saw them like tucking in behind their car because the sun on Friday was just unbearable. I was like, hey, come hang out in the shade. You know, come sit in our chairs and hang out in the shade. They were beyond happy, so we got M&Ms. 4 fuel jugs were key. I only think I had 2 full with E85. It was readily available everywhere, so I didn't need to like fully stock up. And then I was using, one's in the trailer. One's in the big trailer because Davey boy ran us out of fuel in the truck. Oh yeah, and I just, I used one to drain pump gas out in. This is just a big bag that I keep in the car, actually, for my parachute, and I keep it with a bungee cord in case it rains. I wrap this around the parachute and wrap the bungee cord around the mount so the bag doesn't get soaking wet. Soaking wet. Picked up a knee pad from Summit. Now, one thing I did was, oh yeah, here you go. Make sure you bring lots and lots of sunscreen. This is a must. We did pretty good. We got a little red, but we did pretty good. The sun is, you can't escape it out in the Midwest. There is no escaping it. And your arms, and even, it was funny, I'd be driving, and all of a sudden I would just feel my leg would be burning. I noticed the only thing that was getting sun was my leg. Oh, lots of sunscreen. I brought an extra USB cable to go from my laptop to the ECU. Didn't use it, but that's a must. This is the only casualty I had of drag week. Was my brand new fire core wires. You can see they are trashed. They literally pulled apart. This was the reason for my mile-an-hour issues, and it was like, it had some dips on the top end, and it just wasn't right, and I saw 2. When we did the spark plugs Wednesday night, I saw 2 of them. I saw 2 of them were burnt. So I did carry spares with me. We put new plugs in, we gapped it tighter, because you can see in the top of the log, the RPM just has like these little shark teeth dips. And it's usually an indication of a misfire. Stuck new plugs in it, tighter gap, like 18 thou. 2 new spark plug wires. We went back out Thursday. Byron same mile an hour. Picked up a little ET, same mile an hour. When we got back to Michigan, I had the hood off the car because Friday was a long wait, and I checked, and I found the third burnt one. Replaced that one, picked up 10 mile an hour on like a pound or more boost or something like that. I know the tune-up was the same. We might have added a little down low, but it picked up 10 mile an hour. I went like 133 in the 8th or something. So it picked up a lot. No, that's the casualty. One thing I set up was a tire service bag, which these Milwaukee bags come in handy. So this was strictly for tires. This was a great idea. I loved it. You know, impact gun, wheel spacers, a tire plug kit, the you know, an air gauge, and a charger for the 1/2-inch gun. Just, you know, I kept this thing right here. The one thing you're changing the most is your tires. Obviously, you can see my street tires are in here right now. We just loaded the car with the radials on the car. I'm like, screw it, I'll deal with it at home. So this was, I'm glad I did this. This was a nice little touch. People torque their wheels and do all that. I just hammer on with a gun. My first mess up. 2 days before, I decided I was going to use a inverter to charge batteries off the car. I wired this into the car with the wires, and this was hanging out like where the fuel filler neck goes. There's a hole in the floor there. Well, I couldn't find the other side of this, so I quickly overnighted a new one. Guess what? These are not universal. They are different. These quick release winch cable plugs, yada yada yada. No, that was my first only mistake. And the worst part was I didn't have a 4-gauge crimper. So everything's just all taped in here, which is probably pulled out now. I walked around trying to get a 4-gauge crimper. Nobody had one. I ended up only using this once, but twice. But I will be fixing this now that it's home, so it's an easily plugged in thing to do. Instead of, it was literally, that thing's all taped together. It was disconnect the nuts off the battery terminals, tap bolt down, and then use it. Oh, my air pump. I had this little stupid thing. It worked, don't get me wrong. We'll be upgrading to probably the Milwaukee battery powered one that I used from Matt one time, and it worked great. You know, you can set your PSI and it shuts off. Also, I meant to grab my bigger drain pan. This is the drain pan I used out there. The only problem is this thing's like, let's see if it says it. Less mesh drain pan. That's a lie. That's made in USA. 11 quart capacity for less spilling. Here's the problem. There's 8.5 quarts in my motor. That thing's up to like here. And this less mess my ass. You go to pick this thing up with that amount of weight, it literally, I ended up doing it in the dirt with some pig mats all around it, cleaning it all up. So I meant to grab, one thing I did run into almost instantly was weight distribution in here. Obviously this pack out kit's kind of heavy, so I ended up putting a tire up there and bringing 2 fuel jugs back, putting a tire over here and bringing 2 fuel jugs back, and moving stuff around, which it worked. It helped tremendously. I try to go with aluminum just because of weight. It's lighter. A lot of people hate on the Harbor Freight. I have no issues with it. 1.5 ton, and they're 3 ton aluminum, all aluminum. Gotta save that weight where you can. You don't want to be pulling 1,500 pounds, 2,000 pounds with your car. I said you're already dealing with weight distribution as it was. Plastic bags. For whatever the reason, I always needed a bunch of these. Every day I felt like I needed plastic bags. I ended up keeping a ton of them. Now this is the oil that I changed. It's still like water. Good Lord. I was thinking once it cooled down, it might thicken up some. It don't look like it. I'm actually taking some of that oil, which is Rotella T4 1540 non-synthetic, and I'm taking some of the oil out of there, which is VR1 2050 non-synthetic, and it's getting sent out, and both of them are going to get analyzed. And then I'm going to put 2050 synthetic in, and this stuff is all going to Blackstone Laboratories. They send you these cool little kits if you don't know. Show you. Here, so you get like this whole little, well, I haven't opened one. Yeah, so it comes with like a Ziploc, a little, come on. So it comes with, you know, your instructions, your little thing, a little baggie, and a little vial, and a sticker. And you fill your oil up, you wrap it in that, you put it in the bag, you put it in there, and you mail it out. The test kits are free. Those are all free. It just costs $30 for them to run the analysis. And then there's like add-on things you can add on for more money to do more things. I know the data that I have from the car, what switching these oils did, in terms of pressure and temp, but I want a full breakdown, you know, stuff that I don't know to see. I will never run 1540 Rotella T4 in my car again. The second I put the 2050 in, I made a pass. I never heard the lifters again. Never did. I always heard them after this. Even fresh brand new oil, heard the lifters after a pass. They would rattle on the top end. It's actually really nice having this as just a dedicated electrical bag. I think I showed you guys in this packing of this. This worked out really well, especially because I was having electrical issues. I never used the blanket, but I would still keep it. I wouldn't not have this. Did not change transmission fluid. I'm gonna change it now that I'm home. Probably this weekend actually. I'm gonna change all the fluids, oil, transmission, rear diff. Just because of temperature, it got hot a couple of times. They say the AW32 holds up better than normal ATF, but it's like $45 for 5 gallons. Get in here. A couple of things left in here, meaning to get out. The problem I've been having is shit just falls back here. Battery jumper, power probe, a torque wrench which needs to go back to work, CO2 bottle. This was a backup, and Adam was kind enough to give me this air dam. I have a cheap LMR. Ow, God, I just blasted. Whew. This is a it's a Ford NOS one. This thing greatly helps. So the cheap one's gonna come off, and nice Ford one's gonna go on. But as I was just commenting, all this little stuff falling down. What I think I'm gonna do is, since I have enough of the 3/4 square still left over, I'm going to figure out a way to build a shelf right about here, just above the wood, across, and it'll be a corner shelf with like a lip where, you know, stuff like this can go. This can go. I think I'm gonna buy a funnel buddy to mount on the inside here if I have the room, because I hate funnels being dirty and getting oil everywhere. But I also want to rethink this pack out. That's a lot of weight sitting there in that one area. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about it, but I think something's got to be done about it. It wasn't terribly off balanced. Yeah, there's not too much I want to change or add or take out. A couple of things here or there that need to go or need to stay or come in. Definitely more organization. By Wednesday, this thing was just trashed. Everything was just thrown in there and you were digging for crap. Got obnoxious. Dedicated trailer for drag week. I'm very pleased with it though. One thing I gotta do, which I didn't even think of until one of the Florida boys took a video, his wife I think, took a video of me driving down the highway, and you could actually see, now that I press on it, the front of the box flexing. You can see this bouncing separately from the frame. So I'm going to make a support across here that bolts to the bottom of this and stops that flex. Because that was, I'm like, I don't see any like damage from it or anything, but it flexed. it was a shaking, that's for sure. So I gotta do that. I want to add the shelf. I want to make something that holds the door open. Right now I've just been using a bungee cord down to the wheel. The lights, I'm telling you, lights were key. They actually look like they're dimming out a little bit. This battery, one battery. Now mind you, I wasn't out all night working on the car. I got very lucky. My nighttime was minimal compared to some people who weren't getting to their hotels till 3 a.m. Which, God bless you. Yeah, much brighter. But no, I got lucky. Without a doubt, I got lucky. But what's that? Preparedness favors the lucky? Or luck favors the prepared? Something like that. So not much I want to change with the trailer. I want to move the jack, because one thing, some of the grounds are on the jack would be all the way down and it wouldn't be on the hit. Oh, I want to change the whole front of this thing out. This thing fought me tooth and nail. I'm glad it's bolted on. So, whatever the reason, I don't know if you can see the way this one's set up. This thing, like, it has to like slide onto it for it to catch. It won't even pull down for me right now. Yeah, so I don't know if you could see that. This thing has to like pop down before, so you gotta like go on an angle with it. It was so obnoxious. But this is the Harbor Freight life, apparently. And I need to put some sort, I think I'm gonna put this wood up on the ceiling as well for some sort of vapor barrier. Put like plastic sheeting and then put the wood on it, because when I would go out there first thing in the morning, this would be damp on the inside. So there's some work to do to the trailer. A couple of things here or there I told you I was going to add, but nothing too crazy. I'm sure things will change. One thing I want to do is I want to add a spare cylinder head. Completed. It adds some weight and it's kind of annoying, but the leader of our class on Thursday torched a head gasket. Right? Torched the head. I don't know how. He got someone to weld that thing and mill it and get it back on the car. If I have a spare cylinder head, I could just rip that one off, slam on the new head, bolt it down, and be on my way. I run 862s. They're fairly cheap. I think I paid $100 for the set that's in the car. So I want to buy another set, build one out the same way that I have this one. I have springs and retainers and everything that's in there, all the BTR 660 stuff. And that'll, you know, go up on the shelf and have that so I could just slam it on and be done. Because I didn't even think about torching a head and having to get something like that fixed. That's one thing that's on the list for next year's drag week. Other than that, it's not too much. Like I said, the pack out thing kind of... I gotta figure something else out. Because all my tools are in that bottom one. Every time I needed a screwdriver or something, I'm pulling all that stuff out to get to it. I don't know if I get another base, put it next to it, and then we figure out fuel jugs in the back. I don't know. That's all gonna get played with before the next one, because that literally drove me insane. The things I would want, things I took out was the oil. I'd probably bring one change with me again, not two. Change of transmission fluid, change of rear diff fluid, one full changeover for the car. Enough oil filters in case you got to do more. Aluminum jack and jack stands. Spare front tire is a must. Spare CO2 unless you run onboard air or if you're not a turbo guy. Oh, a cooler. And something better than this. I want to get something better than this. So we had this cooler in the car with all our cold drinks and stuff, beer and whatnot. The problem with this that I found was left overnight. So the liner, the plastic liner, comes out. What it caused was moisture to get in here, and this whole bottom would get moist, and it would be moist on the carpet. Oh, I want to go to a better style, even if it's a hard cooler, something of that nature, and not worry about moisture in my car, because that one stays in the car for the whole trip. You know, it held all, like I said, it held all their drinks. It was a blast doing it. I can't say any more. Like, if this is something you've been thinking about, do it. These, especially these events, are all popping up everywhere now. I just saw one in Carolina. There's one in Florida. There's Midwest Drags. There's Rocky Mountain Race Week. There's Hot Rod Drag Week. I saw talks about one in the Pacific Northwest. Fingers crossed there comes one to New England. But, you know, read the rule sets first. These are all spin-offs of Hot Rod Drag Week. And I read the rule set for one today, and I was like, nope. Nope. It is the ultimate streetcar challenge, I'll say. We'll talk about that more in depth in the next video. This, I just wanted to go over the trailer, start getting things unpacked, start going over what I used, what I didn't use, what I wanted to use. Alright guys, get in the garage. We are almost at build season. It's October. I'm changing plans this year. I am going to change the setup on my car. I'm not going to let you know, so stay tuned for the next episode, and we're going to talk over what's going to happen with the car. And we'll go from there. Get in the garage, crack a cold drink, cold beer, cold water, start working on your hot rod. Have a good night, guys.